They met long ago, a boy in school and his teacher. But close in age, they spent most of their time not learning history, but talking about music and fucking around. Years later, and still not particularly grown up, they're trying to relive those nerd out sessions. Please humor them, or don't.
Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Andy.
How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going? Okay. I spent a rigorous week on this list, as I usually do when stuff like this comes.
Yeah.
Like, I've polled my brother, I've polled friends to see what they came up with.
That's cheating. You can't.
Well, but it isn't, because in the end, I basically took a shit on all of their...
Oh, okay. You're like, yeah, I'm not choosing that stuff. Thanks, though.
Right? It was funny because there were some where we had the same group, but not the same album. And in the end, I was right. So I chose the albums I liked.
Right.
So
because we're always right.
Because we're always right.
Yeah.
Did you reach out at all?
I just out of curiosity, I asked one friend, because one of the bands that I wanted to have an album on the list, I wasn't sure which album.
Right.
I'll get into that later. But so I just asked a buddy that really likes that band, like, which one would you choose, And we ended up kind of having the same few candidates,
Right.
But yeah. But other than that, no, I didn't reach out at all.
We should probably say the theme is top 5 road trip albums.
Yeah, today we're talking about top 5 road trip albums. And our selections are going to be better than everyone else's.
Obviously.
Yeah. How do you want to start this?
Were you able to get down to 5?
So I'm going to say 5.
Yep.
And then I'm going to talk about 2 more.
Oh, you got it down to 7. I got it down to like 12 or 13.
Yeah, like I immediately had like 10. It was easy,
Yeah.
And then I had 8. And then I had 5, and then I had 7, and I was like, this is fine.
Yeah. What criteria did you use to decide your albums?
Well, so like I thought about, when I was doing road trips in the States when I was in university. So I chose some of those because good memories and they were awesome. And then a few other ones are like, next time I'm doing a road trip, I want to play those albums on the road because, that would be really cool kind of thing. So the criteria for me was just tradition, what I've listened to on the road in the past and what I would like to listen to in the future.
I found this really difficult because we're not in an age of albums anymore. And I make playlists for everything now. So
and you're a greatest hits kind of guy. You like greatest hits albums.
Yeah. Like I was actually talking with my brother and I was like, what are your top 5, man? Because we generally have the same music taste. And he's like, God, that's really hard if you can't include the greatest hits albums.
Yeah.
And that did trip me up with some groups that I was like, God, I'd love to have that on a road trip. But then when I go through, so my criteria for thinking about this, 1, I wanted variety. Like I didn't want all rock. I didn't want all punk. I didn't want, because I'm like, if I'm on a long road trip, I want to mix it up a little bit. So that meant I had to make some hard choices about some others. But then I was like, if I'm listening to the whole album, it has to be an album I'm not going to skip a song on.
That was another criteria of mine. I forgot about that. Yeah, like the albums have to have like good ups and downs, There's the fast like highway song, and then there's, like veer over into the slow lane and have a cigarette during this sad song, and then like I don't know, maybe it starts raining and track 7 sounds good in the rain or something, like, a long road trip with lots of different vibes,
That was kind of my thinking. The other thing, and it actually ended up discluding all of my punk album choices, was if I'm on a long road trip, I don't want an album that's done in 25 minutes.
Right.
Or
yeah.
30
That's
minutes.
another thing. Yeah. That's another thing with choosing only 5 albums. I mean, because I was thinking about it in terms of going from my school in Denton, Texas to where my parents lived in northern Oklahoma,
Right.
which was a 5-hour drive. 5 albums is not enough.
No, right.
We're not talking 1994 hip hop where all the albums are 67 minutes long, you know, like we're talking normal like 30 to 40 minute albums, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So should we each, like, you share one, I share one until we are done with our 10 combined?
Sure.
All right. Why don't you go first?
Well, so I'll start off with Guided by Voices.
All right. I figured they'd be in it.
Specifically the album called Mag Earwig. It was hard to choose, but I went with that one because there's a lot of really good rockers on there.
Okay.
Good for the highway. And yeah, it just brings back a lot of memories because when I went to Denton, I was hanging out with this guy named Cameron, and his girlfriend was from Norway, and she was like this massive Guided by Voices like nerd. She had like all the albums, all the offshoot projects, all the solo albums.
Right.
And I had only heard actually their greatest hits album. Like I knew about the band and I had a greatest hits album, and that was basically it. But I was interested in hearing more. And she basically just gave me all the CDs she has. She's like, borrow them, like listen to all of them, you know. So I actually had like all these CDs in my car for a really long time.
Oh.
And so when I was, you know, driving up to Oklahoma, I'd just learn about Guided by Voices for 5 hours, you know. So like they had to be on the list for sure.
All right.
And I chose Mag Earwig.
I'm like you were when you first started listening to Guided by Voices. Like, I know of them, I've heard a little bit, but I couldn't name an album or pick anything out.
It's one of those things where, like, of course I would recommend listening to more Guided by Voices, but I would also kind of want to stop you because it's like, it's a rabbit hole.
Right.
Like, it's never ending. Just forget about it.
No, but that
it's like, it's a chore. It's like a serious hobby to like know them, you know?
And because we're both music nerds, that's how we deal with new things. It's like, oh, new group. All right, let's listen to all of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're still around. I mean, they're, you know, they
right.
2 to 3 albums a year kind of thing. It's ridiculous.
Shit. All right.
So, yeah, I kind of gave up after a while. Like, my friend Ian is, you know, he keeps up with everything that they do. So I just kind of wait for him to tell me like, oh, the one that came out this year is really, really good. And I'll be like, oh, I'll check that one out, you know, because you have to sift through it all. Like, you know, they're not all awesome.
Are they kind of like I like Ryan Adams, but he records everything. And it's like, hey,
Yeah,
Ryan, you should only record about half of what you actually.
Yeah. I would argue that Robert Pollard is the same kind of thing. Like, he doesn't have a filter. He just does it.
Right.
He just puts it out. Yeah. And I'd be more than happy with him releasing like a perfect album every 2 years.
Yeah.
Instead of like 5, and, you know, they're pretty good.
Right.
One of them's very good and the other ones are like interesting, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Guided by Voices, Mag Earwig, that's one of them.
Okay. I assume you didn't actually rank 1 to 5. It's just
no.
5.
I just started with that one. They're the coolest one on my list. Everything else, you know, that's where the hate comments start.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
I'm cool until now. From here on out, it's like, Jesus Christ, Sean. Jesus.
Well, I'm gonna. Mine are kind of stock, all 5 of them, but the first one, the Beatles, Revolver.
Awesome choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's an awesome
The Beatles
album.
are the best group ever.
Revolver is one of my favorite albums ever, for sure.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite album ever. But then, I'm looking at the track list to Revolver. And if you're driving, you start off with Taxman, and you've got
Dips down.
Sunshine, but then Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm Only Sleeping has some of the most beautiful harmony, backing vocals. Like, I just love it. Got to Get You Into My Life. Like, there's some rockers, then there's some not, but it's just a solid album throughout. Yeah. I toyed with Abbey Road, which was one my brother was like, dude, it's got to be Abbey Road. And I'm like, yeah,
not
Abbey
anymore.
No. Nope.
Thanks for the terrible idea, bro.
Like, yeah, it's a great album, but I just, Revolver to me
it's way better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the most complete albums ever put together. It's the Beatles in their pocket when they're experimental, but they're not only doing studio stuff. They're doing stuff they can perform, and Revolver and Rubber Soul to me are the best Beatles albums, and I just, for road trip, I went Revolver over Rubber Soul.
And She Said is like one of the greatest pop songs like ever, right? She Said is on that, right?
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's just top to bottom, killer album.
Yeah, for sure. Good choice. Didn't that album like break records, or does it still have a record?
I don't know. I'm a huge Beatles nerd, and I don't know.
I feel like my dad said something a long time ago, like, oh, Revolver, it broke the record for like the something. I can't remember though.
I know that Eleanor Rigby is one of the most covered songs of all time.
Oh, really?
Yesterday. Yeah, Eleanor Rigby and Yesterday.
I didn't know Eleanor Rigby was that covered. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a strange one to want to cover.
Yeah.
I feel. But yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that would be the one,
Yeah. But so yeah, that would be definitely one of mine.
Cool.
All right.
So here we go. I'll just get this one out of the way. Lunacy's last album before they broke up the first time. The one behind me.
Yeah.
It's self-titled, except that they spelt it like Lunacy, the Lunacy.
Right.
Their very, very, very first album was actually self-titled.
Yeah.
And then this was, self-titled the other way.
Yep.
And they refer to this one in Japanese as like Red Lunacy.
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's the red one. That's how you differentiate,
Right.
But yeah, that I jammed that on the road a ton while I was in Denton, and so it's on the list. It has to be greatest rock and roll band of all time. End of story.
That's what?
End of story.
They're a great band. They're
Yeah.
a great band that. I mean, did they really ever get out of Japan? No.
In recent years, yeah, I guess, yeah. Like when they came back, I think more so than when they were during their heyday, yeah.
But they're a good band. I'll recognize that.
Actually, the song that you played is on that album.
Right.
The song called Tonight,
Yeah. I'm on board with Lunacy being a good road trip album.
Yeah, especially this one. Like it's rockin'. There's like some dips, like there's some nice ballads, and there's like some kind of dark rock songs and stuff. It's a really good road trip album for sure.
Greatest rock band of all time.
Yes.
Like, but But I've already stated the best rock band of all time.
Right, yeah. Okay, the Beatles are better. Fine. Fine. But seriously, the drummer, I mean,
yeah,
one of the best of all time, for sure. At least a
he's
lot.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So my second choice, I think generally is it. I mean, it's one of the best albums ever. I think it's a great road trip album for any road trip. But for me, playing Paul Simon's Graceland while road tripping across South Africa and into Namibia,
That's perfect.
that as the backdrop, just over and over again, just the colors that Paul Simon paints with everything. I mean, again, the track list is unreal when you know Graceland, Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes, just beautiful song.
Yeah.
Of course, Call Me Al, whatever.
Yeah.
It just phenomenal. There's ups, there's downs, it's upbeat, it's light, it's perfect for a road trip.
And it's a perfect album in general.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing album.
Yeah. Not quite as cool, but no, I mean, my example, it's not quite as cool as listening to that like in Africa, but it kind of reminded me of like, you know, driving around in a taxi in like District 9 Ho Chi Minh with like Creedence Clearwater playing, you know.
Right.
It's like, whoa, this is crazy. Because District 9, at least back then, I mean, it was still like,
it was still gritty,
just like, you know, what you see in the movies, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I'm in Nam, dude. Back in Nam, you know.
But it is like the music just can transport you so quickly to those places and enhance it.
Yeah.
And Graceland was when we came up with this. That's the first one that popped into my mind. I've done a lot of road trips in my life, but that one was just so memorable and perfect because of the album.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome choice. I wanna drive through Africa and listen to that too.
It's pretty cool.
Although I'd probably be an idiot and be like, let's listen to like, you know, trap from South Africa. Yeah. You know, which would still be super fun.
Right? It would be.
Yeah.
Or you could listen to like some Diane Word or something like that and just
yeah.
You have the same reaction I do when I hear
Yeah, no, I'm good. Why did they make it out?
Right?
Like
How?
there's some really good shit. Like when I went to visit my sister there, I brought back some really cool shit, and like they're not famous anywhere outside of Johannesburg. Like it's you know. But then this whatever they are, like they're terrible.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Or like, have you ever heard of Freshly Ground?
No, I don't think so.
They're another really good South African band that
people
should know more about.
What kind of band is it? Like a rock band or?
Yeah, they're rock, but it's I don't know how to describe them really. Like
Freshly Ground.
It's like indie. It's like indie rock.
Cool
kind of thing.
Freshly Ground, South Africa. Wonder what's gonna come. Okay. Freshly Ground. Oh, it's all one word. Freshly Ground, no space.
Right. And
South
all
African
lowercase.
Afro fusion band from Cape Town.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like they have a cool song called Pop Belly that's kind of just a fun, light thing. But
it's a big group. There's 7 people in the band. That's big.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, they're cool. So, yeah, Graceland. That's my second one.
Nice. looking at my list of 7 here. All right, those 2 are done. Okay. This one also kind of has a bit of a story. So, well, the next one's 311.
Oh, nice.
And that's because, so this is also after I graduated and I went to Denton, Texas. And at that time, 2004, 2005, Walmart still had a cassette section.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like, it was mostly country.
Yeah.
Or like obvious stuff like, I don't know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers greatest hits or something like that,
Right.
And at that time, like I obviously knew who 311 was, but I hadn't become the fan that I am now yet.
Right.
Me, Nick, and Daniel played Omaha Styley, like,
Yep.
I knew who the band was and I liked them, but I wasn't crazy yet.
Right.
But anyway, so I was looking through the tapes because I thought it was kind of funny, Back then I didn't really care about tapes, but I had a tape player in my car. So I was looking through and I saw Grassroots.
Oh.
311 Grassroots on cassette. I was like, yeah, why not? Awesome.
Yeah.
And so like I played it on my next road trip and that's when it happened. Like I just absolutely fell in love. And I love that album so much. And anybody that doesn't like 311 is a questionable human being.
I am 100% with you on that one.
I know. You're the only person in my life that I can like confide in. This is a safe space. Like, I can talk about like, 311 with you.
Yeah, there's so few people who really appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. There's some cheese, but they're awesome.
They're awesome. They're awesome. And Grassroots is their best album.
Super good. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's so analog and
yeah,
the songs are awesome.
Yeah.
Like
I personally have more of an affinity to music.
I knew you liked music.
Because that was that's how I was introduced to 311.
Yeah. I'm basically Grassroots and the Blue Album, the self-titled one. Like those 2 are my go-to, basically.
Yeah, music 311 and then a later one, Don't Tread on Me.
Okay.
I really like with Speakeasy and Don't Tread on Me. I think that's a great album too. But I also really liked. I can't remember the name, but it's got like the burning sun on it. From Chaos. Oh yeah, from Chaos. Yes.
That's kind of like they kind of went back to their original sort of vibe, sweet guitar riffs and just like,
yep,
just plain and simple. They're just rocking,
And it's great for a road trip because it's upbeat. It keeps you awake. You can, car dance to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Grassroots is another one on the list.
All right.
But actually, I mean, the self-titled, the blue one, that's a long record. So that's kind of more of like a good road trip album. But I mean, Grassroots just like takes me away.
Yeah.
Like I could just be on the highway forever,
Yep. Okay. My third one, Van Halen, 1984. Like if I just want,
I don't know,
a straight up rock and roll, good time. It's got the song Panama on it, which is all about getting in a car and driving and just rocking out. The set list if you're not familiar with Van Halen, you probably like whatever. They're one of my favorite groups of all time. I've always loved Van Halen, but Jump, Panama.
Oh, Jump. Okay, yeah.
Drop Dead Legs, Hot for Teacher, I'll Wait, which is a killer song. I mean, it's just fun, balls out rock and roll.
Sweet.
And sitting behind a wheel of a car, listening to that, like you're not falling asleep.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's not going to be boring.
No, it's only 9 songs, but God, every song is just killer. Love it. Great. And I was torn, and this didn't make my list, but I was like, if I want just like a good old, like, straight ahead rock and roll album to drive in a car, AC/DC's Back in Black. And I was like, 1984 or Back in Black, 1984 or Back in Black. And Van Halen wins out for me every time. So
No, it's funny. Like I was thinking about this today when I was like, trying to narrow down my list, and I was kind of laughing to myself, like, I bet he's gonna choose, like, I don't know, AC/DC and like Humphreys McGee or some shit, Fish. Like, I actually guessed AC/DC.
You did, and I didn't choose Humphreys McGee. Didn't cross my mind, but I was like, oh man, maybe I should put Fish Hoist on there. Like,
Yeah, I knew there was a slight possibility that Fish would be on there, or at least considered, and AC/DC too.
They were considered, but I didn't put a Fish album on.
Okay. I believe you. Cool. So is that 3 each?
Yep.
Okay. My next one is an album that has come into my life recently, so like I would be excited to drive with it in the future.
Yeah.
It's a hip hop album. It's a duo called Marlowe.
Okay.
And specifically their second one called Marlowe 2.
Okay.
It's like, so I went to New Mexico with my family a few years ago. And, I did a lot of driving around in that area, kind of deserty, right?
Right.
And then for some reason, this album sounds like that scenery.
Okay.
It's like really, it's really like, it's hip hop. The production is like really cinematic.
Okay.
And I just feel like if I was listening to that album driving through like New Mexico, it would just be perfect. Like sunny, orange.
Right.
And like bumping, and like it's definitely the album that you want blasting out your window when you're at like a stop sign.
Yeah.
Like you want people to hear you rocking out to that in your car.
Right.
You don't want to be blasting Omaha Styley by 311, like you want to rock up to the corner with Marlowe 2, blasting. It's like, yeah, what's up? Like it's cool stuff. It's super cool. And the producer, his name is I'm not sure if I can pronounce. It's like Lorange. It's like L''orange. Lorange. Okay. He's like currently one of my favorite producers. He does like just beat tapes as well.
Yep.
And then he also like Marlowe is him producing for a rapper. It's like a duo. But yeah. Check it out.
So, I said that variety was one of my things that I wanted. So I was trying to think of hip hop albums that I'd put like what songs that I listen to. And this is where the rule that we placed on ourselves that it couldn't be a greatest hits or anything, like that's where it killed me, because I was like, I would put Tribe Called Quest's Anthology on there, but then I was like, well, let me look at all the Tribe albums, and Peoples, and then Low End Theory, and
it'd be hard to choose. It'd be hard to choose.
It was hard to choose, and I was like, but I'd skip a song or two on all of these.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what about De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising? Like, your knowledge of hip hop is much more modern than mine. Like, I haven't found much modern rap and hip hop that I really jam out to. So I do have like on my extended list, I was torn between Check Your Head and License to Ill by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they didn't make the short list of 5, but that would have been my rap. Like, I'm totally dating myself. Like, my era of rap is early 90s.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know,
I considered
a whole
what?
I couldn't think of a whole album.
Yeah. Low End Theory would be a pretty safe choice, though, probably.
Yeah. But if I could have chosen Tribe's Anthology,
yeah, that would have been easy.
Holy cow, I would have that would have been on there.
Yeah. I thought about Ice Cube's debut.
Oh,
because that's just like full, like high energy for a long time.
That's very true.
It's so good. That would be awesome on the road.
It would be. And now that I think about it, something like NWA Straight Outta Compton or something like that. Just
high energy for a long time. Yeah.
Just right there. Like that would be
like put on your seatbelt.
Right? Yeah. Oh. So now my 4th. This is where I get a little. I start looking through my list.
Yeah, I'm starting to be like, yeah.
And I'm torn between 2 albums, but I'm just gonna double down. Stone Temple Pilots, Purple.
Okay.
Got Interstate Love Song, quite possibly, in my opinion, which is the only one that matters, one of the best road trip songs.
Okay. I basically like completely missed them.
Oh.
Like my friends in junior high school, especially, like Jordan, Tyler, like I'm pretty sure they had their CDs.
Yeah.
But I just never got around to it. Like I just missed it completely.
I mean, I was in high school and college for grunge. Like that was that was it. And originally when Core came out, that was Stone Temple Pilots' first album, everybody's like, oh, they're just Pearl Jam wannabes and they want to be Soundgarden and whatever. But by Purple, by their 3rd album, it was like, you know what? These guys are legit good.
Cool.
Like,
yeah, like I've heard over the years that like a lot of people like them.
Yeah.
So I should probably finally check it out if it's not too late. But
I mean, it's never too late, man.
Yeah.
The name of the first track is Meat Plow. Like, you gotta like that.
it's so like stupid 90s grunge kind of stuff, you know? Like,
right?
Like, yeah, man, Meat Plow, dude. It's like, shut up. What are you talking about?
But it's an album. It's up and down. You know, there's some that just are rocking and just driving rock tunes, but then there's a few where it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit back and chill to this.
Sweet.
Like, this is all right. So, yeah, Stone Temple Pilots, Purple.
Purple. Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me the singer.
Scott Weiland.
Okay, that's that's who it was. Yeah, and he was.
And then he went into Velvet Revolver.
Okay, yeah, I get all those dudes mixed up. You know, there's him, and then there's Audio Slave. That's Soundgarden.
Yeah, Audio Slave was Chris Cornell from Soundgarden.
With Rage. Yeah.
And Velvet Revolver was basically Scott Weiland with Guns N' Roses.
Oh, right. It was
Slash and Duff. And
was that any good? Were they any good?
Velvet Revolver? Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like that, just like straight ahead rock, just I enjoy Velvet Revolver. They're good.
Audio Slave was pretty cool. I remember. I think I bought the CD, like in, I don't know, Target or something.
Right. No, I dig some Audio Slave.
Yeah. I mean, Rage is better, but I mean, Audioslave was good. Like they did a good job.
I mean, the like Rage is better. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, way better.
Have you listened to Prophets of Rage?
No. Oh, the new Rage Against the Machine with Run DMC, right?
No, with Chuck D from Public Enemy.
Public Enemy, sorry. Yeah.
And Be Real from
Right, yeah.
Cypress Hill.
Like I've seen some live stuff on YouTube, but I haven't heard like an album or anything.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. They have a DJ from Public Enemy too, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Because I definitely saw a DJ, Chuck D, and I guess that was Be Real. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then Tom Morello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Be Real, Cypress Hill, like I finally started listening to Cypress Hill. Like I've been kind of avoiding the really obvious stuff.
Right.
You know, like stuff I remember from when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
But I finally started listening to Cypress Hill, and I'm a fan. They're very good. Yeah, I mean,
happy. They're
I mean,
like they're a seminal rap group for a reason.
Yeah, and DJ Muggs is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stuff he does he produces for like new kind of indie rappers.
Oh, okay.
And like it tends to be like really sort of dark and gritty. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sound like Cypress Hill. It's like super cool. But yeah, he's awesome.
It's without Be Real's voice, it's hard to sound like Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His voice at the very first, it was a little annoying. But but I got used to it very quickly.
You almost feel like it's a novelty. Like Insane in the Membrane, great song and everything, but you're like, if that's the only thing you hear from Cypress Hill, you're like, okay, that's kind of a novelty pop song.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that, like, you wouldn't guess that the album's actually very good, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, that song is kind of like, you know, the Smash Mouth kind of hit of hip hop, you know. It's like
exactly.
You know, it's a dorky, stupid song, you know, but it's cool, you know. So is that 5 for you?
4. You're on number 5 right now. You're up.
Okay. So I got 3 to choose from. Yeah, I'll choose a traditional one from past road trips. The band's called the Figurines, and the album's called Skeleton. They're from Denmark.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say about it, really. Just that I have a lot of really good memories driving to it, especially in Oklahoma. And also there's kind of like, you know, it's not an emo album, but there's kind of like the emo sentiment to it. Like,
okay.
Silver Ponds reminds me of the song Silver Ponds reminds me of a girl, you know, like a girl in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. So there's that kind of thing, you know, driving into Oklahoma, like, you know, and I can't wait to see her again. And it's like, yeah, you know, so it's that sort of thing.
And you couldn't resist putting some emo in.
I mean, it's not an emo. They're not an emo band, but it's like it's kind of punky.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like some sentimental stuff on it for sure. Yeah. Emo kids would like it. Punk kids would like it. Indie rock kids would like it. It's just kind of like an all around good indie sort of album.
Right. All right. I need to listen to them because I haven't heard them. So
yeah, that album's awesome. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I just put it on my list of stuff to listen to.
Yeah, that's good. 2005? Yeah.
Okay. So my last one originally made my list like as a peripheral, like, okay, But then as I was listening to it, as I was revisiting it this past week, I was like, this might be the ultimate road trip album.
Okay.
Beck Odelay.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's definitely a good choice. It's fun.
It's so much fun. The song, the intro to Where It's At, in my head, like I'd have it in a movie soundtrack, but the scene would be like a car just like slowly driving by with just like dun 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 dun. Like I just have this, but the album again, it's up, it's down, it's not all like,
Yeah.
and there's not a bad song on that album. Like it is a revered album for very good reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more I listened to it this week, I was like, God, I might just like this might be a go-to road trip album.
Makes sense. I haven't heard it in so long.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I mean, it's been forever since I've heard it.
Yeah, when did that come out? 95?
I think the last time I heard it was probably in high school.
Yeah.
Like 2002 or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
Like listening to it as with the mindset of a road trip, I was like, God, so, like, yes, this is a road trip album.
Yeah, like Devil's Haircut. I can see myself like, again, desert highway, you know, like
right,
super American setting, you know.
Yeah, or you know, New Pollution and Jackass. Like they're just there's
Sissy
some great,
neck.
right? Like it's just like,
I'll have to revisit that album for sure.
To me, quintessential road trip album.
Cool.
Yeah. So what were your other two then?
Jebediah of Someday Shambles.
Great album.
And Saves the Day, Under the Boards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another good album.
It's a later one, yeah.
Yeah.
But lots of cool like ups and downs, you know. You know, there's the straight up, you know, whatever pop punk stuff, and then there's like some slower, softer stuff, and then there's kind of like a not prog, but there's kind of a experimental for them sort of song, you know, that's really
right.
Cool.
No,
So,
I had
Jebediah and Saves the Day. Those were the two that I wasn't sure about.
When I think of road trips, for some reason, I just think of Leonard Skinner, and so, this is like, but like Tuesday's Gone and Gimme 3 Steps, and just like fun rock tunes. So I was like, their first album, pronounced Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Would be great. Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones. Like, again, just kind of down home stuff. If we could choose greatest hits albums,
yeah,
I would have gone with a ZZ Top greatest hits album. Like ZZ Top screams road trip.
Yeah.
You know, LaGrange, you talk about a song that fits driving through a desert.
Yeah.
Like LaGrange just like.
And also, I just thought about this now, but another good choice would be Led Zeppelin's what's it called? Not 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Like Presence or no.
It's like it's got like weird like
outdoor.
No, it's got like weird girls climbing a mountain kind of thing. Sorry, 1 second. Houses of the Holy.
Oh, Houses of the Holy.
That's a good.
That or Led Zeppelin 2. Both of those, I think, would be really good road trip albums. I also had Full Moon Fever by Tom Petty.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know that Led Zeppelin album.
No, by Tom Petty. Or
Tom Petty's very driving. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, or the other one was Born to Run by The Boss.
What about John Cougar Mellencamp, dude?
Okay, so I did think of him.
Dan, 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 dan. I was born in a small town. Like,
right?
Like, it's amazing.
It's so good. Pink Houses. Like, but again, they're not all on one album. Like, this is where
yeah, that's where you would need like a compilation.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Like, if I could have greatest hits albums on this list, then probably all 5 of mine
would be like a compilation. Yeah.
Would be compilation. I put Tribe Called Quest Anthology, Tom Petty's
ZZ Top.
Greatest Hits, ZZ Top's Greatest Hits. What else? Like, I'd put like some kind of Motown compilation, like a Jackson 5 compilation, something like that. But Leonard Skinner's Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
Or even like a Grateful Dead's Greatest Hits kind of thing. Skeletons from the Closet. Like, those would be fun also. But
yeah.
It was actually a kind of a challenge, I think, to come up with road trip albums.
Yeah.
In this era where we think road trip songs. Like, when I was searching on the internet, everything is road trip songs.
Yeah, like a mixtape of songs, like a playlist of songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
another thing that I just thought about, you might laugh, but like like a Dave Matthews Band live album counts as a compilation, therefore it wouldn't count. We couldn't choose it, but like not a Dave Matthews Band album, but like a live album would be cool because they play long shows. There's obviously lots of ups and downs. I love Dave Matthews Band, so
I like Dave Matthews Band. Yeah, a live album would be
like a good 2 hour, like like hour and a half, like lots of Dave, it'd be good.
It would be good. I mean, yeah, if you included live albums also.
Exactly, yeah.
Like Cheap Trick live at Budokan, great album.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Lunacy's live album would be on there too. Start to finish. Except they're not at Budokan, they're at Tokyo Dome because they're better.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
I have seen them at Budokan though.
That's on my bucket list.
We gotta go
something at Budokan.
At Budokan, yeah. We should go to a Lunacy show.
I will.
That'd be so much fun.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna cry a lot. I hope that's okay. It'll be like me and like a 50-year-old woman, and we'll both be crying.
Right.
Like the singer comes out, like,
And I'll just be going like this.
Yeah. Like Shinya throws a stick at me and I like literally lose my shit and cry. Like.
No. I think that's it for road trip songs. Or road trip albums, I mean.
Yeah, right? I talked about my runners up, and there's nothing else on the list.
Yeah, I put all mine out there. But I think they're both pretty good lists.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'd be interested if anybody listens to this to see what they say.
Oh, I've definitely lost a few friends. If they see this.
If they see this.
But maybe I've gained a few as well. I don't know.
Well, see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about podcasts like this is that it's just great discussion generating.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you hate my list, screw you.
Yeah, because we're right and you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's always an incorrect opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. I have a sign in my classroom that says, "I'm not bossy. I just have better ideas."
Yeah. That's good.
So, right on.
Cool.
I guess that's episode 1.
Yeah. Not bad.
Not bad.
So leave your hate comments, everyone.
Yep. Leave as many as you'd like. Because I will find them hilarious.
Yeah. So what should I do? Just like press stop recording now?
I guess.
Cool. We'll fine tune everything in the future. We'll be a little more professional next time, I guess.
No, we won't.
All right, I'm gonna stop recording now, guys.
Don't edit that out.
I won't. No. I'm not sure if I know how.
Right.